Hi guys, Bacchus Bruce got the 2016 Mulderbosch Chenin Blanc. Got this for just $4.99 at Grocery Outlet in Hayward. This is a South African juice coming out of the Western Cape of South Africa. Mulderbosch is a brand that a lot of us know and are familiar with. The Chenin Blanc is kind of their calling card. They are the largest producer of Chenin Blanc in South Africa and have been for some years now. It's bottled on its own. It's also a terrific blending wine as well. The Chenin Blanc, of course, in the U.S. is kind of making a comeback. There's certainly kind of a need for this in the marketplace. People are tired of Sauvignon Blanc and Chard and the usual suspects. Chenin Blanc not too long ago was a part of the landscape here in the U.S., but as tastes change, grafted over to Chardonnay or whatever. But this is a great opportunity to try a kind of an aged Chenin Blanc. So they do use a little bit of barrique aging on this particular bottling. I want to say about 20% of barrel contact. So let's go ahead and see what we have on the nose. Very pretty. So getting some really kind of lovely floral notes, getting like some apricot blossom. It's got a nice kind of chalkiness, kind of a white pepper component also, which is definitely a terroir, but definitely a lot of pretty ripe fruit, a persimmon, a ripe nectarine, a little bit of grapefruit as well. It's got a lot going on and very lovely. Let's see what we have on the palate. So the wine is really all about texture at this point in time. Might have had better acidity a couple years ago, but still showing very nicely now. It's kind of what I call it, like a singular voice wine. It doesn't really have a whole lot of complexity to it, but it's just delicious on its own. Now you can kind of get a bit of that barrique aging with the mouthfeel. There is a kind of a richness that has been imparted into the wine, but it is a kind of a lower acid wine at this point in time, with a kind of a medium-bodied wine, which is not a bad thing per se. It is what it is, which at $4.99 is always going to be a very good value. So getting a nice nutty component, kind of like a hazelnut, a lot of really pretty ripe fruit. So a little bit of pomelo, a little bit of jackfruit as well. Really lovely. Not again an overly ripe style or sweet style, but there is kind of a hint of sweetness to it. Now, as you get into the finish, you get a little bit of petrol, and you get a little bit of quinine, and kind of a steeliness in the mouthfeel. It's really a fantastic little bottle of wine for $5, and I'm thrilled about it. Gonna do a food and wine pairing on the Instagram, so make sure you take a look at that, and we'll see you in the tasting room.